Well, good evening, folks. Welcome to the Sports Talk with Dwayne and Q. It's been a while. But we here. We're gonna try to really get more content out going into football season. We're gonna both be doing. It's funny because outside of our pro sports, uh, Dwayne is going to try to do some high school football in New Jersey, checking in, let us know the landscape of high school football. Uh, He'll be preparing in the next couple of weeks to be going to his annual Battle of the Beach, and that's really good and exciting for what the the Hat Man is doing down there in South Jersey. Really bringing the communities together and a beautiful beach day. If you ever guys ever see the field, it's literally not too far from the beach. Myself, Dwayne has tasked me to cover Wilkes University because we know a young man that's going to be playing football there. So actually, Wilkes University is going to be playing one. I think their first game is the end of August. I looked at the schedule the other day, so we're going to be doing that besides just our football takes. Try to do at least 2-3 shows a week. We'll see. We don't want to commit to nothing, and then people be looking forward to what we're doing, and then we don't show up. We just ask that if you do see the playback or you do join, like, share, subscribe, man. We're trying to bring something different to having conversations about football and not specifically focusing on the team that we root for, because the team that Dwayne and myself root for is the Dallas Cowboys. And they have way too many content creators, and they're all doing a great job. Salute to them. But we believe that our team is over talked about. There's 32 teams in the NFL. We understand that the Cowboys is the most liked and probably the most hated team in the NFL. But we believe that, at the end of the day, football is football, and it's going to be won by one team. And if you noticed, the last few years, nobody's really talked about the Chiefs like they should be, had really been celebrated. And I happen to live in the state of Pennsylvania, and nobody's really giving the Eagles their flowers like they're supposed to. So, salute to the Philadelphia Eagles. Job well done last season. But this conversation tonight, we're going to watch some of Shedeur Sanders' game. Got our volume low so it doesn't interfere. We get a copyright. But it's interesting when you think about Shedeur's path to where we got here and all of the hoopla with people saying that he should have got drafted on the first day, which even the most seasoned NFL scouts said that was incorrect. And one thing that I learned about the NFL, when you talk about the guys like Walter Payton, when you talk about the guys at Jerry Rice, if you're good enough, they'll find you. And that's how Shedeur should be approaching it. He's seizing the moment now. He's going to start their first preseason game. If he goes out there and lights it up, looks good, run the offense, it's a possibility he may be starting game one of the regular season. I just want to say I heard a quote today by another content creator, and he was talking about young quarterbacks, and he was bringing up the phrase of, when you're a young quarterback, you could have a strong arm, you could have all the tangibles, but what makes you a good quarterback in the NFL is doing the ordinary things and making it look easy. Shedeur, we don't need Shedeur to throw the football over the field. Just for that, young man, just run your offense. If it's there, do your check downs, throw it away, read the coverages. That's all a young coach would expect. A coach would expect a young player to know. He's not supposed to go out there and, try to fool the Mike linebacker and all that stuff. It's not about this. It's just running the offense properly. And then as the coaches usually coach you up and give you more and more. But, that's the premise of our conversation tonight. We're going to talk about some things in the NFL. What's going on? A lot of news going on. Dwayne dropped something on me the other day, and I was like, ooh, can he elaborate? But I forgot that we started talking about the team we root for. And then, Carolina has a guy on their offense who we wanted on our team, Tat McMillan. So we got a very interesting night. So what's up, Wayne?
Chilling, man. Interested. Interested to see what Shedeur. His father just put a message out about him getting this opportunity tonight. Um, I don't know how to feel about it. I know they said he was like fourth on the depth chart, but yet they're giving him this opportunity to start. Is it to see what he could do? Maybe move up the depth chart? Um, the Browns quarterback situation is in such disarray. People really forget that Deshaun Watson is still on this team with a big guaranteed contract.
It's funny. It's funny because me and you've been doing this sports thing. We've been friends since sixth grade, and it's always funny how you will say something and it's my thought, and vice versa. Even when we calling each other, one of us will just start talking, and be like, "Yo, that was just what I was just thinking about." And you brought up their quarterback situation. You brought up who they got get on the quarterback on their team who's getting paid the most money. And it's funny because I was thinking about David Mulugeta, who is the super agent, who's the guy that, he's today's Drew Rosenhaus, got all these high profile clients. And, you know, nobody has a crystal ball on what should have happened with Deshaun Watson when he came from Houston. And nobody knew the scandal, but it's kind of crazy that, his agent was able to broker this contract of this team that was so hungry for a quarterback that they offered him so much money, it was guaranteed money, and now they're basically we don't know where Deshaun Watson is. You and myself, we've never really talked about him on our platform because of the sensitivity of the closeness of who his family member is to you, and I know her as well. But the Browns really got burnt with this,
Yeah, they did.
and like you said, here it is. Shedeur is starting their first preseason game this year, and he's technically fourth on the depth chart. And we're talking about fourth, and we're not even counting Deshaun Watson. He's the
Mhm.
fifth. There's five quarterbacks on their roster, so it's interesting how this is all going to get played out.
I mean, if you ask me, I think when it's week one, I think it'll be Joe Flacco. Um, I'm interested in watching Shador. Like, let's be honest, this is the first game that Shador has played quarterback in his life without his father being on the staff in some way, shape, or form. I'm talking youth football, high school football. I'm talking Jackson State. I'm talking Colorado. He's never played in a game without his father being on the staff. Now, there was a couple of games that his father missed when he had health issues at Jackson State. And if you remember from the little documentary that they did, he was begging his father, like, hey, Dad, hurry up and get back. I don't play the same when you ain't around. Like, he's a high percentage passer, throughout college if you look at his stats. But in them games that his father wasn't there, he dropped below 50%. So, people question his arm strength. Um, I think he's a good quarterback. I do. Um, I think the draft slide had totally to do with his father. I think they wanted to teach Coach Prime a lesson, like you ain't gonna be able to dictate where your son go. It's crazy that some families are able to do that, and that same family may be able to do it in the next year or next 2 years because I, for one, don't believe Arch Manning is coming out after this year. I think he's going to do 2 years at Texas. But are the Mannings once again going to try to dictate where their family member goes with Arch Manning? So, what made Dion different from the Mannings? Some people would say his attitude. Some people say teams didn't want to deal with that. Some people didn't like the whole legendary that Shador did, and his draft party legendary everywhere. I mean, I don't like it myself. I just don't. But that's just me. But I really believe this young man was penalized and went in the 5th round because of who his daddy is.
And it's crazy because sometimes, and we know that right now everything's in front of him. Anything that Shedeur wants to do, it's all about what he's going to do on the field. But unfortunately, with the draft and with the hoopla, the bark wasn't what the bite seemed. The bite is the tape. The bite is the workouts. The bite is the interviews in the combine. There was so much stuff behind it, like you said, that are all these NFL guys lying? Are they stretching the truth? Like when we think about it, and I know a lot of people jumped on it, Dwayne, because unfortunately we're so polarizing in our communities now that they thought it was a black-white thing. One of the things that I don't think that the NFL, and I'm not saying that the NFL is exempt from racism. However, Dion isn't just a Hall of Famer. Let's get that straight. Dion is not a regular gold jacket guy. In the Hall of Fame, and I'm just paraphrasing, Dwayne was there, but figuratively, in the Hall of Fame, there is a back room.
It's going to be interesting.
In the top left corner. And in that top left corner is Dion and about 4 or 5 other guys that's separated from everybody else.
It's going to be interesting to see if they let him throw it on the first down. And we can't do play-by-play. We got to wait till the play is over and then comment on it.
Yeah, so Dion is NFL royalty. So a lot of people jumped on this Dion thing, and they lack
do they
content.
treat Dion? Do they treat him like NFL royalty?
Yeah, not the scouts. The scouts see what the scouts see.
But see, I don't think the Shedeur thing had to do with anything to do with scouts. I think they was trying to teach Dion a lesson.
Mm.
This is a man that said his son would not go to Cleveland.
And
now his son is at Cleveland. Little juice on that throw. I think first throw he may have been a little bit nervous. Put a little juice on it. They gave him an easy completion. It's a route to get an easy completion. The first down was a nice run. So now they got him in the 3rd down here. Again, not a big arm, in my opinion. Smart quarterback, knows where to place the ball.
One of the things that we talked about during the draft, Dwayne, was when you think about him, his greatest quality is his toughness.
Yeah. Not a runner. He's not somebody that's don't think he's a Lamar Jackson. No, he's a pocket passer. Shedeur is a pocket passer. And one thing that he has an advantage with his time in Colorado is having an offensive coordinator like Pat Sherman who runs a pro-style offense. Right there, he'll learn. He got to learn right there. Got to put that ball on the person beyond the sticks. So, they go 3 and out. He was 1 of 2. I think the first incompletion was because, a little hot with the read. You will see that there was a couple of people in the stands already with Browns 12 jerseys.
And that's the amazing thing is that, and I want to say that, preface this by saying, polarizing does not mean negative in this context. He's so polarizing that selling the jerseys, people come in, people literally telling us, we saw the social media buzz, people literally saying, I'm a Browns fan because of Shedeur. If they cut him or he don't start, I'm not going to mess with the team. But if he's like, I know that the NFL has eyes on it, but me and you going to watch the NFL regardless. There's a bunch of thousands, millions of people who are going to watch the NFL regardless. But one of the draws of the NFL is the casual fan, to bring the person that typically is not going to watch NFL football on Sunday or Monday, to bring them in. And this, the jersey sales, the stuff like this, Shedeur being such a polarizing young man, this is good for what the NFL likes to do.
Mm-hmm.
Very good to see the player that one of the players that I liked that came in the draft, Mason Graham, highlighting him. It's amazing when you think about it, how easy his transition should be to the NFL for such a good player because he's going to be playing next to probably arguably the best defensive lineman in football.
Yeah, interested in seeing 12 for the Browns tonight, which is, Shedeur Sanders. As a University of Michigan fan, go blue. I love Mason Graham. But the one player that I wanted the team that we rooted for to potentially pick up in the draft, be very interesting to watch him, number 49, middle linebacker for the Cleveland Browns. He's a rookie out of UCLA. I really like his game. I liked his game in college. I think he's going to be a damn good pro. He may look like that Matthews that used to play linebacker for the Browns a little bit, So I like Schlesinger a lot. And I think you'll hear his name. And I think he has the perfect defensive coordinator to come into the NFL with Jim Schwartz. Look at Mason. Yeah. Mason taking on double teams. Got held a little bit there. They ain't give him the call, but Mason Graham has an amazing motor. He was a youth wrestler and wrestled all the way up to high school, so he knows how to use his body. He knows how to use his hands. He knows how to play with leverage. I like the pickup. I like where he was drafted, numbers-wise. But so they say 50 snaps for Shedeur, and he out there in them ugly brown uniforms. Brown uniforms. Never been a fan of that uniform ever. I do own a Cleveland Browns jersey though, and that is for the late great Hall of Famer, best football player to ever put on the pads, Mr. Jim Brown. I know a lot of people like to talk about off the field stuff, but even I feel like throwing people off balconies sometimes in my life. I kid, but
So let me ask you, Wayne. You dropped something on me the other day about a team in the NFC, and you said it, and I'm like, really? You were saying about the great that it looked like it might be slippage out of one of the great players of our era.
Oh,
when you mentioned Trent Williams and what you said you had heard about training camp. I wish we can get a 49er fan on here. The two 49er fans that we know is cuckoo. We couldn't invite them.
He was a little frustrated because he was getting beat by Bosa a lot in this camp. Trent Williams is one of those players, right? How did Washington ever let him go? It's a question I ask myself often. How did Washington let that man leave their organization?
Dwayne, sometimes in the NFL, I can understand the Raiders trading Khalil Mack. I could get it. McKenzie drafted him and Amari Cooper. Gruden came in. You're a middle of the road franchise, and it's like we give you highest paid defensive player in the league money, and we can't build nothing around you.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. But when you think about edge, and I know a lot of people will criticize what I'm about to say. I know teams always chasing edge rushers, but edge rushers do not produce wins.
Mm.
I'm not saying that a left tackle produces wins, but a left tackle literally is the bodyguard for a right-handed quarterback.
It's true.
And it allows, if you have a dominant left tackle, just look at Trent in the Niners. The average football fan do not know the Niners offensive line. But you know who Trent is and who he's been since uh, Joe Staley,
Mm-hmm.
since them guys left, since the when they had Mike Apati, when they had the other kid, Andrew Thomas from New Jersey. You knew when they got Trent from Washington, it was Trent Williams, and he was basically doing what that wall does down in Georgia,
Mm.
stoning people at the wall. So it's an interesting thing. So
Nice little play to get him started with his second possession.
yeah,
Nice little screenplay.
I like that they got him in shotgun early. Basically, be able to read it quickly. Stefanski has always, in my opinion, been a decent play caller. I don't like his game
A
management, but he's a
lot
play
of
caller.
12. It's a lot of Browns 12 jerseys in Carolina.
Yeah.
Imagine what it would look like when they have a home game in Cleveland. We know who the fan favorite is. We know who
Or when
Cleveland
they go
Browns.
down to Atlanta, or when they go to Dallas. You know,
I believe he's 2 for 4 right now. That last attempt that he threw was
interesting. Deontay Johnson wanted to call there. Another redemption project that the Browns then took on.
I love some of these players that the Browns drafted. There's a lot of kids that were high on my list. I like Sampson a lot, and Sampson's gonna have to step up because the other running back out of Ohio State that they drafted, he's the only rookie that hasn't been signed, and it's gonna be hard because he got those charges, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's another thing, man.
there's Shedeur showing a little
these
something
these
that he
young men,
really
these
never
young
showed.
men, man, these young men, you know, they make decisions and choices sometimes in college, coming out of college, and it's really like they can really mess their lives up, man. I just hope that Isaiah Bond, man, we talked about him a lot. Whatever situation is the situation, I just hope that he makes out okay in life. I just hope that he
Yeah,
makes
it's
out.
gonna be tough with the NFL, man, until all this stuff is sorted out. They're just not really even taking a. Oh, jeez. Razzle dazzle that didn't dazzle.
You're ahead of me, but
Oh, my bad.
it's perfectly fine. But I told you when we were talking yesterday, I was telling you how upset I was with Cam Hayward. And you know what, Dwayne? I realized today when I was coming home, I'm upset with something, and I'm upset with a player on the Cowboys. Well, former player on the Cowboys, and I was upset when he did it. I shared it with you, and I'm upset with the way he played last year, and I'm upset that he retired. Um, the Cowboys had a great right guard for years. Zach Martin was a great player. I can never take nothing from him. Surefire Hall of Famer, probably our second greatest lineman in our history, arguably. It's two or three. And right before training camp 2 years ago, he held out to get more money. Came to training camp, he wasn't healthy, had a bad year, then came back, then retired on us. And that has bothered me since then because he retired and now the Cowboys are basically paying dead money for him.
Mm-hmm.
And like nobody says nothing in the Cowboy media or Cowboy content creators about what he did. And basically he did us dirty. And I've been telling you about it, and it just bothers me. And now when I hear all these players talk about holding out, I get it. I get it. And I'm trying to take the player's side, but it's like pissing me off because it's like
I like going full on 4 for 1. I just don't like going empty.
you guys sign these contracts, and it's like you want to hold out whenever you want more money.
What are you doing? Yeah, that's not a good play by Shedeur right there. Um, saying high school or college, just the NFL. Just get rid of it. Doing what he did can lead to a bigger problem.
I'll let you know my thoughts as I say it. Fourth and a big one. This is not a little one. I agree with you. I wouldn't go empty here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That will lead to a bigger problem. That was one of Shedeur's biggest problems in college. He reverted back to in college right there. Sometimes take the sack where you're at. Don't go backwards. Don't go backwards.
It's a good
Football.
thing he was able to give the ball away, throw it away, because he almost took a big 20 something yard sack.
Yeah. But it wasn't bad drive. I'm like you though. I think the empty was kind of crazy going empty there.
Yeah, we're going 4th and 1. Let's see my man Dylan Sampson.
Yeah.
See if he can get that short yard for you. The Quinson Junkins thing, it's kind of amazing to me that, with the stuff that's going on with Micah Parsons and the Cowboys, Trey Hendrickson, excuse me.
I mean, I get why they do it. I understand the premise why they do it. It's a crazy situation because you don't want when you look at Micah don't want to be in a situation like Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is an older player. Micah's younger. We know Micah's 26 years old. And Micah clearly understands that this is the biggest contract that he'll ever get in his life.
Yeah, and I don't want to go too far down that road because everybody's been talking to him. I think something happened today that I found really interesting with this Quinshon Junkins thing. Today he waived his right to a speedy trial. So I guess he's in this thing for the long haul, but he is yet to sign his rookie deal. So I don't know what the end game is for him and his lawyers. I thought they would have pushed for the speedy trial.
This is a tough situation for the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do? This like we said in the open. This is a tough situation when you talk about financial commitment for players when their top player, second top player, just is like they don't have no money.
Damn it!
What happened?
This is a kid that I really wanted with a star on his helmet. But Carolina took him before he even had a chance to get to us. And right there shows the potential of who he could be in this league.
Whew. Over the shoulder catch early. But they said he didn't have breakaway speed.
He doesn't. He will not. He's not a burner, but I don't need him to be. Would you say that Herman Moore was a burner?
Or Alvin Harper?
Herman Moore was just a big receiver who knew how to separate.
Anquan Bolden?
Yeah. Like, I don't need you to be a burner. Oh.
What's your thoughts on Carolina, Dwayne?
I've always been a Bryce Young fan. I think people, these king of the moment people, too quick to wanting to call him a bust. Sometimes we gotta let things play out. And towards the end of the year last year, he was playing darn good football. I guess Canales is a good coach. J.C. Horn, hopefully that injury from the car accident doesn't keep him out an extended period of time. you know, they gave up on Brian Burns, who's with the Giants now. I don't think he had that great of a year with the Giants where Carolina was like, oh boy, we miss him.
What's funny, Dwayne, is like I know a lot of people been talking. I know that you don't listen to the flagship station like we used to when we grew up. But a lot of people are talking about the Giants defense, and I'm like, Thibodeau hasn't fanned out. Burns didn't seem like he fit in. Dexter Lawrence, is getting years. Like I don't know what they're seeing. They drafted the kid, so I'm trying to understand what everybody's talking about with their line. I don't even think they're gonna exercise Thibodeau's option next year. You got any surprise teams? You got a surprise team this year?
No, I really haven't come up with a surprise team yet. Um, this is not being a hater because this could come off as a hater because I'm a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think the Commanders are going to be as good as everybody is saying they're going to be this year.
You know, I
I think the Cowboys got a better roster than them, better overall roster than them.
well, I agree with you. The Cowboys, if they can get healthy quickly, they're kind of quietly loaded. Like if they can get healthy quickly, they got a lot of depth. The one issue maybe they probably needed one more lineman. But if their cornerback situation is interesting because they have good corners if they're all healthy, but they probably might need to add one more before the season starts, just as insurance. So I, for the first time, Dwayne, usually before preseason, we go through the phase where it's no football, and I kind of got from the no football phase. I kind of detached a lot more than I usually ever detach from the NFL during that down period where I haven't really had the opportunity to think about the teams. Even now, and I know that three preseason games, they go quick, man. We're gonna be in September, we're gonna be rocking and rolling. So I haven't really myself thought about any quote unquote sleeper teams. Well, probably in the next 2 weeks, I'll be able to, give a team, probably one team that I'll pick that I really think
I know a lot of
could
people are high
surprise
on the
people.
Rams, but you got that type of injury, and you just don't know when Matthew Stafford's coming back.
Yeah, when you get shot with epidural, it's bad. It's just bad. But even with the Rams, and I know a lot of people uh, are high on them, but did they forget what happened last year? The
Well,
Rams,
they put the Eagles to the brink last year. They had a chance to
yeah,
win that game.
it just started. It actually, I hate to say it, the weather affected them.
It's just gonna be me all year, folks. Just bear with me. And again, it's like the Patrick Surtain, the second situation. I can't knock him. He wasn't there when it came time on that draft pick. But you're seeing in this drive here, in this preseason game, you're seeing the potential of this young man. And his mama said, you call him either Tetero or Tet. None of that other stuff.
That's what his
No,
mama
no, no,
said.
no, 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 no. Not Tet.
T Mac.
Either Tetero or T Mac. Don't call him Tet. That's what his mama said in the opening press conference after he was drafted. Now here, your first and goal coming up. This is where you throw that fade to him. See what you got with your shiny new number one pick. I throw him the fade right here. Guess that's why I'm in Monmouth Junction, New Jersey, and they offensive coordinators down there in Charlotte. What which is a lovely city. I love Charlotte. Can't wait to visit Charlotte once again. They used to have a place that I think, I want to be careful, man. I don't be liking to disrespect anybody, especially not family members. But back in the day, a little bit, not too much back in the day. I'm talking 10, 15 years ago. I visited Charlotte, and there was a place called Price Chicken Coop. I had some of the best fried chicken I ever had in my life. This chicken was so good that they serve it to you in like a brown box. And me and three of my other friends sat under a tree in Charlotte, North Carolina, and ate that Price Chicken Coop. So much so that a young lady drove by, Alabama license plate tag. I can remember it clear as day. And she said, I'm going to park and get out and try that chicken place. Because I'm driving down the street and I see you four gentlemen sitting under a tree eating fried chicken. It was the best promotion for that place ever.
Hey, look like your linebacker's getting a lot of pub right now too.
Listen, man, sometimes I know a little bit about a little. You know, I don't pretend to know a whole lot, but I love this game and I watch this game, and I'm not one of these Johnny-come-latelys that start talking about college kids in February. No, we're talking about college kids now. I got a list together. I'm going to put it out there, you know, of the 10 players that I will be watching this college season very closely. Full disclosure, your boy got to find out what he did with the list, but it's coming. It's coming.
I might have it in my email, man. But,
or if not, folks,
I will tell
I'll
you
make
this.
a whole other list.
I will tell you this, Dwayne. I know it's preseason. I saw him twice last year. Bryce Young looks totally different.
Yes. He started coming on at the end of the year.
So he looks comfortable. See. We know he's short. That's not going to change. He's not going to go in the offseason and grow 6 inches. That's not going to happen.
Tell people, how tall was Drew Brees?
Yeah.
How tall was Doug Flutie? He had to overcome his height. People still ain't want to give him the job. Remember Fruity Flakes? I do. I had a box of them.
And then you got to realize they didn't have, in their eyes, they didn't have enough around him to really build. Now they got to continue to build. Tapper, you need to be a little patient with your coaches and allow the coach to coach and build a foundation. Someone
asked me, all right, here you go. You got one of my people on Twitter that will remain nameless. Now he up here talking about Ted is a dog. Oh, man, please. Don't start your shenanigans.
So slave in the moment, you know.
Stick it, go to Bowie, go to Milk and Honey, get you a nice little meal, and relax down there in the DMV with all this cowboy talk. All right? Relax.
Don't even play. You can even go to Miss Shirley's if you want to go to Baltimore, huh?
Yeah. Don't even play. Damn, he done threw me off what I was thinking about. Oh, what another shot. This guy. I have people in the sports talk game that I really like. You know, cut our teeth with Mike and the Mad Dog. They will always be the best to me. I am a Mike Missinelli fan, but it's time for Mike to give it up because he just got released again by 97.5 the Fanatic of Philly.
I didn't know he went back to them.
Yeah, and just got released again.
What's funny is I was watching him on YouTube for a minute, and he disappeared. He went back to. Sometimes you got to realize, and one of the things that, and it's funny that we're on YouTube about to talk about this, is a lot of these guys, the older guys, have to realize that legacy media is kind of over, and it's really not about your personality. They ain't gonna work with you no more. It's about them ratings, man. That to the point where if you're not rating number 1 or 2, 3, they ain't even messing with you. You might gotta rank. You gotta rank 1 or 2, unfortunately. And Mike Missinelli had really built a platform on YouTube. He should really think about doing his sports and bring it all.
People forget at one point Mike Missinelli and Stephen A. Smith had a show together.
Yeah.
On 1050 ESPN Radio in New York.
And it's funny because a lot of them guys 4 or 5 years ago would try to clown YouTube. Oh, why guys on YouTube, you on YouTube making content, this, that, and the third. But then a lot of them legacy media, legacy sports media, they're on YouTube trying to build a platform. And they have an advantage, whether they realize it or not, because they have a big personality, some of them, and they're able to bring that audience to YouTube.
He can't help himself, but I want Shedeur to be careful. I didn't notice what he did on his second possession after he scrambled for the first down. Don't come with that looking at your wrist. Come on, man. You haven't done anything yet. But he Deion's son. I guess he gonna be legendary. Still do all that legendary stuff. They're keeping this game plan very simplistic.
Yeah. And that's smart as a coach. Really sad news about Rashawn Slater, man. Torn patella.
The NFL is a tough sport, man.
You know, torn patella.
Knees don't know when you sign extensions.
No.
They're not clued into all that.
And your body, just like you said, sometimes it just be freak injuries, man. Sometimes it stepped the wrong way. We had a friend. For those in the chat, Dwayne and I have a friend that we're very close with, that we grew up with, same age, man. He tore his ACL getting out the bed, y'all. And he was in pretty decent shape all his life. He's not a big guy. He tore his ACL getting out the bed. So when we hear about these non-contact injuries by these world-class athletes, you just never know.
You never know, man. I don't know who's doing this broadcast. Looks like it's the Browns broadcast. From an information bug on that broadcast, that's a hole that was missing. They don't give you nothing. They don't tell you, like, usually they'll show a quarterback and they'll be like, he's 7 of 14 for 58 yards and no touchdowns, no interceptions. I don't know what the man's stats is right now. Like, you got to do a little bit better job. Now, the Browns, we work in that offensive line. You lose a person like Tristan Wirfs. That's tough. It's tough to replace. They, making some changes, moving some people around.
Yeah. Very tough situation, man.
Yeah.
But Dwayne, that was one of the things that, and I hate to go back to them because they are, for an extent, our point of reference. I'm amazed at how coaches and franchises handle injuries. Mm-hmm. Because some franchises, Dwayne, they get a big injury on their line or defensive line. Some of these good coaches, really good coaches, are able to coach through it. But then some of these franchises, they get an injury on the line, bro, and it's like doom and gloom. It's like the season's over. We can't do nothing. And it's like, okay, you can't do nothing?
Yeah.
That last third down throw was terrible.
Yeah, just an update. He is currently 5 of 10 for 33 yards, but he's going right back out there after this horrible muff by the Cleveland Browns punt returner. I'm sorry, the Carolina Panthers punt returner. So Shedeur and the Cleveland Browns will start this next possession deep in Panthers territory. Be interested to see what type of the play calling is here. Will they let him do a little play action?
I do play action, quick early read to the tight end or fullback, Dwayne.
Or I would do white, yellow, banana.
What is that, Dwayne? For those that don't know, that is John Gruden's favorite play. Dwayne, what is wild yellow banana?
It's to the tight end. Basically trying to get
the tight end. The tight end is the Y.
Yep.
And on the reason why it's the Y is because most of the time a tight end has an option to go slant right, slant left when they come off the line. So for the Cowboys, it used to be with Jason Witten, it used to be called Y option. For Witten, for the great John Gruden, who's still doing a successful job on YouTube and with his channel, it's called Y Yellow Banana.
Which is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
35 of the Carolina Panthers may have to get cut with the effort he just put on film.
You start muffing punts, bro.
Like, what are we doing 35?
Shedeur Sanders is the people's choice. Want to win? Put 12 in.
Yeah.
This is the buzz that this young man has in the city of Cleveland.
And it's becoming all over.
A lot of people are high on the Patriots this year, Dwayne, saying the Patriots might make a big leap. I don't know. I don't agree with that.
We can run
yes.
The short.
End of the first quarter, Cleveland still in the red zone.
Tight end goes to the right.
Dwayne, what you listening to? High school?
I am listening to John Gruden teach Marcus Mariota Spider 2 Y Banana.
You care to narrate it? You care to give us what it is?
Basically, it's a tight end option route. Like basically, depending on the
now, Dwayne, I'm gonna put your coaching skills back in the show. Most people don't know that you coached Pop Warner, Commissioner Pop Warner, did it 20-some years. You love it. You love high school. You love high school football, but you love high school, college, pro, but you really love Pop Warner. You love to see the young men who don't know nothing about football just run around and learn the game, and it teaches them the purity of the game. Let me ask you a question.
I've coached all levels of youth football, and I will say there's certain times where your football acumen just goes by the wayside. I can remember one time I'm in a close game. I have junior peewees. At the time, that's 9, 10, and some 11-year-olds. We're in a close game, man, so I call timeout. I want to go in the huddle to go over what I think is the championship drive. And these guys are in the huddle talking about Pokemon cards. And I'm like, fellas, we're in the game, man.
Pokemon
trying to win. Just give me 30 more minutes.
You said they were there talking about Pokemon cards?
Yeah. Give me 30 more minutes, fellas. You can talk about all the Pokemon. Now, this is when the Pokemon craze, man. Yeah, do people remember the Pokemon, Craig? Where people was running up in people's houses looking
Yeah.
at their garbage because they was looking for Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Just for our audience and whoever decides to watch the playback, right? How
Don't do
does
it.
the tight end know which
Do
way
it.
to option?
Don't do it. Look at this crowd. This crowd is going crazy. Very nicely placed ball by Shedeur there. It was the tight end. It's the tight end. You'll see
Beautiful
on there.
pass. That was
Yeah,
Bates.
yeah. Nice pass. Not a long drive for Shedeur. It's not like he drove him down the field. But when he needed to make the throw to the tight end, as we were joking about,
Still
tight
looking
end.
at that watch, huh?
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like, folks. I'm gonna be honest. But look at this. 12 jerseys all over the place. Nice looking young lady right there with the
So let me
12
ask you,
jerseys.
Dwayne, back to the yellow banana.
Mhm.
On that option, right, left, what does the tight end base where he's gonna go?
Depends on what first of all, depends on how the defense adjusts pre-snap. And then he's gonna view the linebacker that has generally a linebacker or a safety will have the tight end in coverage. So he has to cue the linebacker, see if he's in the drop, what he's doing, you know, and then he's able to just work in the space. Basically, want to get in the space. You want to make an easy throw. Like this guy, he broke off the line. He went like he was going to go into the right. Did a nice little arrow route to the left. Touchdown. Good ball by Shedeur.
I'm always amazed, Dwayne, where tight ends, and I will admit that my favorite tight end in the last 30 years, who I just love watching work in tight windows, tight space, I loved Gonzalez. I loved the way Gonzalez would literally he'd do a fade, he'd do an option route, or he'll just go to the goal line and do a quick turnaround and stop right there in front of the linebacker.
Yeah, it's and to be fair, like he was really good. He knew how to work in traffic, but he was doing the same thing in his regular life, allegedly. Learning how to work in and out of traffic.
Who? Who?
Allegedly.
Who?
The tight end you mentioned,
Anthony Gonzalez?
Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was a nice broadcaster. Played a little college ball, basketball too.
Yeah, I always thought, and you see a lot of tight ends who, as we would say, got it all: hands, feet, quickness, body type, big, huge. They tried to sell us on a tight end for the team we root for a while, and next thing you know, this guy was making porno tapes because they saw something that he never was able to fan out. Oh, he's got this big body. He's going to be a great tight end. Rico Gathers. Next thing you know, the guy's making porn. He never fanned out. Cleveland has a good tight end that everybody loves him, Joku. They like the way he, works in tight spaces.
Yeah, Jersey stand up. If anybody didn't know, Ted is a dog. That's what this guy says. Rob, somebody get RG3 a napkin.
Why? What happened?
He just needs a napkin. He's putting in big bold letters that Shedeur threw a touchdown. RG3, talking to you, sir. And I mean this when I say this. You're a bona fide clown. Your takes lack substance. So what you're doing, sir, is you're jumping on this Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese train, You're jumping on the Shedeur Sanders train. You're doing a lot of really questionable stuff, sir. And it's showing that you lack character. I never questioned another man's belief. And I know you believe in God because of the things that you put out about him every day. And that's
Your volume went out, bro. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Wayne, could you hear me? Hopefully Dwayne will come back real soon. Yeah. He's talking about RG3 and RG3 shenanigans. And some of the stuff that RG3 be doing. Which anybody that knows RG3 is all over Twitter, making these takes that just controversial takes, wanting to be part of the conversation instead of just, giving the analyst, giving an analytical eye and, this is a sports show, so I won't get into what I think of them.
I may have got censored because I call RG3 a clown, but I stand by it.
No, actually, I don't know why your volume just dropped.
I know people probably didn't hear my whole rant about RG3, so I'll just leave it at that. He's a clown. He's a clown. And when you gonna respond to Shaq, RG3? You ain't gonna respond ever.
I don't want no trouble. Toby be good nigga for massa. Good nigga. Don't send Toby away. Toby be good for your hand, boss. Good for your hand, massa. It's all right, Toby. It's all right.
Yeah. Show us some more videos of you down in a black woman with your wife in the background eating popcorn, cheering you on.
So what do you think about Bryce Young? He looked good, right?
Bryce Young looks good. Robert Griffin III, stop shucking and jiving. It's the last thing I'll say to you, sir. Yeah, I like the way Bryce Young looks. Now you got old redhead.
Red Rifle, huh?
Yeah. Red Rifle. Andy Dalton, number 14 in your program, but number 1 in your heart. So, Shedeur has a touchdown. That looks good. But again, that wasn't a long drive. My brother, do you mind if I just step away to refill my tea?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I'll be right back, folks. Just
Absolutely.
go to get some tea. I'll be right back.
What kind of tea is it, as if you don't mind sharing?
Mango green tea. That's mango green tea.
Good for your digestive system.
It's good for your heart.
So yeah, it's a lot of interesting stories that Dwayne and I are going to try to cover this season. NFL, like I said in the beginning of the show, we're going to be doing our NFL show at least two or three times a week. Hopefully, we'll see. Dwayne is going to be covering high school football in New Jersey. Try to give us some videos, talk about that, as well as I'm going to be doing Wilkes University in Pennsylvania, covering that college football aspect and really, and we'll probably do some NCAA college football and have some discussions, because this discussion that you guys see is literally a phone conversation that me and Dwayne would be. Dwayne would be home and I would be home and we'd be watching the game, talking. So why not talk and just do a show and have it on camera, and just this is what we do. We just conversate. Go back since the 6th grade and we just conversate about sports for an hour or two. Dwayne don't like long shows where shows be over an hour, because it's like, oh, you get tired of hearing yourself talking if sometimes, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, but
So,
we're gonna stick with it till Shedeur is taken out. It's a Friday evening.
but really, preseason NFL football and practices, I have to bring this up. It's about evaluating talent. It's not about who wins or loses. It's about evaluating talent. It's about being able to see a particular player's skill set. A lot of these guys that's playing in preseason, mind you, there is 100 some odd people on your roster right now in the NFL. There will be 53 players before the last preseason game, cut down day. Most of these guys that we see, you'll never see them again in the NFL. They might fan out. They fan out, go to USFL. They might be somewhere working somewhere else. So a lot of times, you get these camp guys who impress all these guys in camp, and they start talking about them, and they start saying, "Oh, they're going to be on the roster." Whose roster? A lot of times, these guys is bottom of the barrel in the depth chart, and then they don't play special teams. So now I can't even get on the table and fight for you because you're not on no specials, and you're the fifth receiver. And don't get me wrong, folks. When you're a great athlete, no matter what position, the special team coach will find you. Dwayne and I root for a team where one of our defensive linemen in the rotation got hurt last year on specials because he's such a great athlete that, you know what? In order to stay on the roster, dude, you got to be able to do more. Hopefully, we'll never see him on specials again. But that just goes to show how hard it is to make it on the NFL roster.
If you saw my face and you saw the disgust that just came through on the screen, it's because as I do this stuff, I also have the X app open, and I saw a report from a Cowboy writer for The Athletic, got a YouTube show, has a strong presence on X. And it says, and I'll give him a plug, John Macchiata. And it says, Cowboys coach Brian Schottenheimer says Brett Favre is the only other quarterback he's been around that could throw like Joe Milton. But thinks Milton might have the edge in some distances. Schottenheimer called Milton's passes PISS missiles. Folks, when is Joe Milton playing for the Dallas Cowboys this year? And if he does play, means our season's over. Why do we get the every day how strong Joe Milton throws the football? He's been throwing it like that since he stepped on Ann Arbor, Michigan, when he was a teenager.
In the words of the great Tom Moore.
The ball hard and far.
In the words of the great Tom Moore, when they asked him about Peyton Manning's backup, he said, "We don't prepare for fucked." If your backup's in the game in the NFL, it's over.
Very good.
Nobody has a good backup. You always hear these guys, "Oh, I got a good backup." If you're talking that much about a backup, then that means the backup should be starting. And a lot of times, what you're going to see in preseason and practices, the backup is going to look good. The backup is going to take chances. The starter works out the kinks of the offense, the intricacies of the route trees with certain receivers. The backup is not even working with the starters.
But okay, Joe Milton's good, man. He's our backup. But I guess, it's par for the course, because for a couple of years people felt like Cooper Rush should be the starting quarterback over.
And we saw his first throw yesterday. We saw Cooper Rush's first throw yesterday.
we got a clown who's thankfully no longer on TV that used to think the Cowboys should start Cooper Rush over Dak Prescott. And you see what I'm saying? When you're out here acting like an ass and you're out here calling people out their names, what are you doing now, sir? Shady McCoy. Who's really ass? Maybe it's you, sir. Who's really trash? Maybe it's you, sir.
Who was a very good NFL player.
But blame
But
Charlie.
but
Blame
but
Charlie
his assessment of other players, particularly Dak Prescott, was personal. And me and you always talk about this, Dwayne, and this is why one of the things we don't understand with anybody who uses the Cowboys for clickbait content, who talks about the Cowboys all the time. You don't have to lie when you talk about the Cowboys. This team hasn't won in 30 years. All you got to do is stick to the facts of what you see and what it is, and don't stretch it. And it's going to be proof of what type of team they are. Because just be honest, the content is going to be the content. But these guys make Cowboy situations more stories than they really be. It wasn't a bad throw by Shedeur on that last play.
Yeah, Shedeur's playing well, man. He's playing well. He is now 7 of 12 for 44 yards and a touchdown. Again, some of his throws are high, especially on these slants. He's a little high.
I don't like. I'm agree with you. Like Shedeur, you're a quarterback. I mean, I know you're part of the team. This is who you are. This is your brand. But no, one day that these defensive linemen are going to get you, and they're going to mock your celebration.
Yeah. Little tush push. Not even a tush push, just straight quarterback sneak.
I am surprised, and his name just went across the screen. That's what's making me ask you. I am surprised that Ashanti Samuels Jr. is not signed.
Sometimes these leagues they just want to deal with what's on the field, man.
Yeah. And I mean, he's a kid still. I think he's like 26.
All it takes is for one executive or somebody like that to say a bad thing about you. They can ruin you. They can ruin you. I mean, Kevin Stefanski, man, is he on the hot seat this year?
He might be. He might be. Organization, man. When you're in the NFL, that quarterback situation, when you don't get that quarterback situation handled, it will destroy you as a coach.
I like to see him push the ball out on the field. I'll wait for you to see that last play. The second down play, I'll wait for you to see.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing too much of that. I do not like that habit that he has right now. Because this is the second time in this game maybe the third time in this game he does that.
He definitely don't mind throwing in tight coverage, neither, Dwayne.
That second down play, though, was a badass read.
The guy was under.
He got away with that one. And then the third down play, he got to cut that part of his game out. One of the best slogans in this game. I don't care what level you play it on or you coach it on. The ball is the program. Period. You keep running around like that, dropping 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, trying to spin, if it's not there, throw that shit away.
Come back and fight another down.
You're not that guy. That's going to make people miss like that.
Definitely, because these guys are just as good and better athletes than you are.
I know they say the quarterback's worst nightmare is tip balls and overthrows. I will also add scrambling like that. But there's a person wearing a 12 t-shirt at the game in Charlotte today. And if I'm being honest, she looks really nice. Out there supporting her baby. She looks really nice, though. Really nice. I approve.
You approve?
I don't Khalees approve, but I approve. But thank you, Pilar. Thank you. That's what I say to you, Pilar. Right there. I'll give you the half of that, too. I ain't going to give you the full one because I'm sure you belong to somebody. I saw a debate yesterday. You know, I'm a fan of athletics, and I'm also a fan of women in athletics. And though me and my brother here, we try to keep it about sports, we don't get caught up in the trolling and the Barstool, Craig Carton, Howard Stern type broadcast. But I will say this. There was a question yesterday about a great debate. It's making its rounds through social media with pictures, descriptions. I just like to weigh in and say I'll take Joy Taylor over Molly Quorum. Give me Joy and her peanut butter skin. And that's all I will say about that comment. Just, I'm going to keep it on the peanut butter skin. And, yeah, give me Joy.
No comment.
Hey, man, it was out there. It was a legitimate.
Oh, so that was making it rounds yesterday, the debate?
Yeah. I mean, it's an age-old debate, right? Since First Take and Undisputed.
I mean, it's funny. It's funny that you said that because Molly used to get so much attention when she was married to Jalen, but ever since they've been divorced, I really don't watch the show. You don't watch the show because you're at work as well. But I really haven't really. I didn't even realize she still is mediating First Take.
Oh, she ain't going nowhere. The hell else she gonna do? But we love you, Molly.
And far as Joy, I think Joy, respectfully, I know she has had aspirations. Now she's saying she's going to go into the sunset. But I thought Joy was really good when she worked with Colin.
Yeah.
As far as her being a show and co-host of shows, I'm not going to say it was bad, but that particular lineup they had, it wasn't good because Chase Daniels is excellent. You guys, Chase Daniel has a YouTube channel breaking down film. I mean, he did an instant reaction yesterday on Anthony Richardson that basically went viral. He said Anthony Richardson don't know how to read defenses. And him getting blown up the way he did was purely his fault.
I need answers as far as these Fox Sports personalities that were let go. Did they sign some type of form, waiver, something that they can't talk about sports on their social media?
I think outside of Joy, Dwayne, I think the rest of them aren't fired.
Oh, they're fired. They tell you they are.
Did they say under contract or did they say their show? Because the wording is key. Because I think they may come back.
J.D. McCoy said, I got fired on my day off.
Okay.
No, make no mistake about it. Those guys were fired. If they weren't, Danny Parkins has still been on Fox Sports since Breakfast Ball got let go. Danny Parkins is filled in on Colin Cowherd. Danny Parkins is filled in on First Things First. So he's still working.
And everybody else is not doing shows. Carton's not doing nothing.
As Emmanuel Acho said when it first happened, I'm not going to tell you big announcement coming because I don't know what's next. But he finally put something out the other day. It was not sports related. He's doing uncomfortable conversations, right? And it's with the people who lost their babies during that flood in Texas. And I want him to be very careful with that. That's not an uncomfortable conversation.
That's a tragic conversation.
Yes, it's a sad. You should change it to unfortunate conversation in that episode. Because they're talking about their loved one. They're talking about them kids. That, to me, is tragic.
So Keyshawn hasn't made a statement, nothing either?
Have you seen him?
You think they're hoping that they're going to be part of this new fall lineup that they're going to roll out?
I don't think it has any. I think FS1 is muting them. Fine.
You got connections. You ain't heard nothing, Dwayne, about their fall lineup or what they're going to do?
Well, yeah. Everybody knows they're putting Barstool TV. Putting Barstool TV up against McAfee. You know.
That's 11 o'clock, right?
12. So when you look at it in the
you got Colin. Colin comes on at 12, right? Yeah, Colin's 12.
I'm sorry. Barstool is going to be on from 10 to 12. Colin will still stay in his 12 spot.
So Barstool's going against First Take.
First Take.
Ooh. Ooh. That's tough.
First thing first.
Who is Barstool Sports, though? Do they have a new lineup or they just got anybody?
What do you mean?
I've never watched Barstool.
I mean, of course, it's El Presidente, David Portnoy. He got the guy that's called Big Cat. They got this guy, Frank the Tank. They got a bunch of different personalities.
Is Portnoy on every show?
No. But this main show, he'll be on.
Let me ask you, is what's their content about? And it's crazy because I know who Portnoy is.
It's like McAfee. It's like McAfee. It's that edge to it. I never got into Barstool Sports because when it first came on the scene, I tried to give it a listen. And the show I was listening to, I think the host had a bet with himself or something how many times he could say vulgar language because they were on satellite TV. It was F this, MF is that, SHIT this. And that's just not my type of
So it was
broadcast.
just cussing just to be cussing as a bet.
Just to be cussing. Oh, wait a minute.
Not like it's you cussing in normal conversation.
Oh, wait a minute. I haven't said a cuss word in 5 minutes. Let me run off 3 cuss words.
I'm gonna ask you, you're seasoned, for those that don't know. Are you surprised, and we talk about this a lot, are you surprised at where sports media is today compared to 25 years ago, Dwayne? Did you see it going in this direction?
Well, sports media changed with social media. Before, people couldn't wait to see the back pages of the Daily News and the New York Post. Now, those back pages are basically irrelevant. Because by the time the paper go out, people that saw this on their phones and discussed it on talk radio, and they're done with it.
And it's funny when you say the back page because a lot of people don't know. The back page literally was the juice to sports. The front page, people didn't even care. They seen the front. Oh, that's the front. Let me go to the back page. Like it was like the template of print media. Mm-hmm. Back page, back page, back page. So much, you guys remember years ago, they had a social media site called Backpage. Mm-hmm. They got a social media site called Page 6 because Page 6 of the New York Post was the juice. And it's amazing how media has definitely changed. So sports media basically follows the template that social media has now with get it out. If it bleeds, it leads. Speak about this first because this is what people want to hear. Troll. They don't even care if you're wrong. Just get it out.
Yeah. So we're at the 2-minute warning. Cleveland's driving. Shedeur currently 10 of 17. I would say, the touchdown pass was a nice pass. I think he's a little high on some of his throws. Some of his reads were a little bit questionable. But overall, for a first time out, I think he accounted himself well. Used his feet a couple of times. Used his feet too much a couple of other times. But I would say solid. Not sensational. Not terrible. You'll have some people who are Shedeur fans that will say he did wonderful. There'll be some other critics that will question the fact that he really only threw the ball down the field 2 times out of those 17 attempts. And when I say down the field, I mean more than 15 yards down the field, folks. He had a lot of passes that, oh my God, look at this highlight right here. Jesus. It was like he was shot out of a cannon. Bless the kicker's heart. So NFL Network will be showing 3 tomorrow. 1, 4, and 8. Okay, we're coming out of the 2-minute warning. Folks, when we get to halftime, we'll wrap this puppy up because we've been with you for almost an hour and a half. It was a great catch by the kid, and then he hurt himself. You hate to see it. But here we go, 1st and 10. Nice little handoff. They're keeping it safe, man. They're keeping it safe for him. I'm not sure if the plan is to have Dylan Gabriel get the entire second half. I would think that might be the plan. And then you ask yourself, how was the number 3 pick, third round pick, getting the second half, but the 5th round picks getting the first half? Folks, that's eyeballs, man. I want you to remember, it's still a business. People are still paying top dollar for tickets to see this. And if you look around the crowd in Charlotte, which is a little bit of a poultry crowd, and let me just tell y'all something about me. You may have seen on this video just now that I flipped up a blanket. You may be asking yourself, see, we talk more than just sports here. We talk life. We talk about a lot of things. You may be asking yourself, it's the middle of summer, August in New Jersey. Why does this man have a blanket as he's doing this show live from the basement, the couch? Because I got that, oh boy, another touchdown throw for Shedeur, and the crowd is talking about perfect timing, showing their watch. Look at that, Colorado jerseys in the crowd, 12 jerseys in the crowd. This is why this young man started tonight. Now, this late drive may get him a move up the depth chart. That's 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. He was strong in the pocket. He waited, hit his receiver. Looked decent tonight. I will say I think this is I think it's a B-level performance for him tonight.
I would definitely say about Shedeur, the buzz is coming. Yeah, I'm interested, Dwayne. Now, does Stefanski does he move up the depth chart?
Well, let's see what Dylan Gabriel looks like.
I would think he has to move up the depth chart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like some of the throws, like you said about Shedeur. One of the things that I definitely like, his pocket presence isn't bad. He just definitely got to get out of the habit of going backwards. And he's not, because like you explained, most people don't realize he's not a runner. He will run if you have to, So on that second touchdown pass, he hung the way he hung in there was really good. But we're gonna close out. We're gonna close
Yeah,
out
we're
the
gonna
show.
close, but our conversation will not stop. You guys just got a sneak peek, and right now we're dropping you off, man. You know how the bus drops you off at different stops. Our journey will continue, but you will not be with us.
You guys take care, man, and remember, man, if you see the playback, you see any clips from this, man, uh help us, man. Help us grow the show. Like, share, subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
We starting literally so organic. We're trying to build this channel up that
And join
we,
in, man. Join the conversation. Think
yeah.
of it as you
In
being
the
that.
great phrase of Michael K, and I wasn't a big Michael K fan, but I love the phrase that he used to say, "We're talking sports with you, not at you."
Yes, and just think about this as the family cookout. And to quote, since he quoted Michael K, I'm not a big fan, but as we close out the show, I will give you a quote that he uses when he closes out his show. The great Billy Joel says, life is filled of hellos and goodbyes, and we say goodbye again at this time."